Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings about abundance, because why not? But also because it's August and we've had the Lunisod and first harvests happening, and it's lots of yummy things to eat, and so it's a very abundant time at this time of year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. But you know, it's always a good time for abundance. So we are going to be using the Sacred Forest Oracle, and we're going to be using the Elder Futhark on maple wood. And so there are 4 cards to choose from. You can pick one of them, or you can pick all of them, or you can pick 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Feel into the cards. 1 or more of these will have a message for you about abundance in your current life. This is a general reading for whenever you find this video, so it's not, if you don't look at it exactly in August 2024, that is totally fine. You can look at it whenever it finds you, and it will be a valid message, hopefully, for you. So feel into the cards. One of these cards will have a message for you, or more than one of these cards will have a message for you about the abundance in your life. And I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello, card number 1, people. This is, again, readings about abundance. Let's start by turning this card from the Sacred Forest Oracle and see what the beginning of your reading is about abundance. Starry Night Acceptance. Okay, so that's quite interesting. The leaves are blocking it. But anyway, put them on the leaves. There. Acceptance is very important, because one of the things about I talked about this last week as well, but the whole thing about, wanting, and including wanting in your wish for abundance, if it's something that you're sort of seeking, it actually pushes away, because you're including wanting in your wish, and then it says, oh, you want wanting, okay, we'll continue to give you wanting then. But acceptance is accepting what you already have, and also just taking the wanting out of it, as far as just like, we accept the abundance that we have, and we accept any abundance that wants to come along and cluster along with that abundance that we already have. So definitely accepting rather than pursuing to a certain extent. Obviously, if it's something you have to work for, then definitely work for it. Do that pursuance thing. But it also just accept what you have as well. Is the difference between taking and accepting is the thing that, I thought these runes would look really good on this background, and they do. So that's pretty cool. So let's get started with the reading on the maple runes. We have the central issue for this reading is Dagaz. Dagaz is the rune of the breaking of the day, and it's actually it's like it's been an aha moment for you, the acceptance aspect of it, because I think you're already there. I think if you're watching this, then you're already at that point where you're like, wait a minute, here I am, like longing, wanting, but I already have quite a lot, and if I focus on that, then that draws in more. So, because you're gonna get your focus into that sort of state, and then it's easier for you to allow more to come. And it's also, the message to the universe is like, yeah, okay, obviously this is what the focus is, so we'll bring more. So, and it's already, I think, occurred to you. I think this has already been like a big aha for you. Leading up to this, it's like you've been watching and waiting, not like consciously waiting, but you've sort of been keeping an eye on things. It's like leading up to this, you sort of tripped along this sort of realization. You sort of stumbled upon it, and then you're like, wait a minute. And you were like almost like holding your breath, going, this is actually working. This is actually something that works. I don't feel this sense of lack anymore. I feel like I'm really appreciating what I have, and that is bringing more in, which is really exciting. So it's this moment of stillness through which clarity comes. Isa is the rune of ice, and ice is standstill and stillness, but again, stillness through which clarity comes. So you had that where it was like, wait a minute, this is working. The appreciation and the gratitude and then more comes along on that open channel, which is pretty cool. So you're sort of right in this moment having that, yes, absolutely. And probably when I pulled the acceptance card, you were like, yeah, no, exactly what I realized recently. Or probably, it might not have been recently. It might have been, you've been just going along with that. But before that, you were like, wait, let me just try this. So what will help in this moment of Dagas, which is the breaking of the day and just sort of this big revelation moment and your entire field of vision filled with this, is Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. And it's also... It's reversed on the upper line, which is what's helping you. So it's also, you're learning about yourself through doing this. Something is being revealed to you about yourself that maybe you didn't know before, but that was always there because the lot box, whatever's in the lot box, was already in the lot box before you cast it, but it was a surprise to you because you couldn't see it before, and now you do see it. It's very exciting, and so the more you do this and the more that you allow this and the more you accept instead of take, you're sort of like, this is something you're learning something about yourself with this, which is very, very exciting. So that's what's going to help, is just the more that you do this, the more you're going to learn about yourself, and that sort of continues to sort of reward you for doing this. It's like, oh, this is fantastic. It makes you want to do more. What isn't going to help is we have Vunyo reversed. Vunyo's the rune of joy reversed on the lower line. I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, you're a little bit worried about unhappiness. That sort of sense of lack that was before this started to happen is still sort of haunting you because it was habit for a long time, and it's definitely the habit of the world. Definitely like, the media and culture and everything sort of perpetuate that sense of no, you need to want things. You need to want, and you need to go and get a thing. I mean, definitely go and get things, but in terms of just including want in your wish, where it's like you're going to continue, you'll never get enough. And so there's that's continuing, and it's continuing to be perpetuated in front of you with what's going on in the world. So there's that. Secondly, you're just, you're sort of worried about disappointment. You're worried about being discontented and being unhappy. And it's just sort of like, we're not always happy. That's okay. Like it's not always sunny. So it's just like there's weather that's happening, and that's fine. I see this more like in terms of what if it doesn't work? This just sort of worries about, your unhappiness and discontentment. But if that starts to be the case, just bring yourself back up to the fact that you are learning about yourself every day that you do this. Like you're becoming more of who you are because you're revealing more of who you are to yourself because of what you're doing. And this also becomes an acceptance kind of thing. Like the very fact that you are unfurling to yourself is another thing that you are accepting and that you are bringing in, and this enriches your life as much as the acceptance of abundance. It becomes another form of abundance, which is really cool. So your next step is we have Nauthies, which is the rune of need. This always means tend your needs. This is basically what I was talking about before, and this is actually the center of the entire reading. So it's like Mr. Rogers says, you have to attach your work to your wish. So definitely, don't allow yourself to exist in a state of, oh, I want things that I don't have, blah, blah, blah. Because if there's anything that you can do that is working every day a little step towards the things that you would like to have in your life, definitely be doing that. Like, it's not like you don't just sit there and, obviously there are things like certain energy boosts and things that you can do by just thanking the universe, and then the energy comes in along that thank you. There is that kind of thing happening, but where it's something that you would like to have in your life that is going to make your life more rich in terms of just enrichment and things, definitely be doing the things. So take care of your needs, tend to your needs, make sure that that's your foundation that you're laying, because as long as you're doing that, every day you do this, if you're working for it, soon, if you're working towards it, every step gets you closer to that. So just keep working on making sure that your needs are tended, making sure that you are taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. And that's going to lay the foundation for the things that are going to come in, because you are moving. And when things are moving, then things are moving, basically. What is going to help you with that is focus. Keep your focus on what it is that you are hoping to have in your life. Not so much on the wanting of it, but on the working towards it. Because, if you're working on it, then it's never very long before you have what you always wanted. Well, I mean, obviously within reason, but in terms of just the things that you want in your life that are going to bring your life abundance, definitely, be working on it and keep your focus on it. Focus on the thing instead of the that you are wanting and wanting and wanting, which is fine in some ways because it's going to drive you, but not in other ways where it's going to push it away. Do you get what I'm saying? So anyway, so it's the focus. So basically keep your focus on what it is that you want in your life, because if you get too distracted, then you will go a whole day where you haven't taken any steps towards it. And then you'll be like, man, I had all these hours of the day and I could have done like one thing that it would have taken me a step closer. So just basically keep at least that one note of focus as you move forward and are taking care of the things in your day. And the things that you're taking care of are just basically to take care of your needs. They don't necessarily have to be for that, but if you're taking care of things that you need, then that is sort of for that, because it lays the foundation. What isn't going to help is we have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of the water, and it has to do with emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. Again, if your heart's not in it, then you're not going to move forward. If the flow isn't flowing forward, then that's not going to help either. So you got to keep that flow going for sure. And so what's going to help you with that is, if you feel like your flow isn't going, just like return your focus. It's like meditation. Just like when you discover that you're not moving towards the thing, don't be mean to yourself. Just gently. It's like a record. Remember records? I remember records. Because I'm old, but just, if you remember, just basically just take the needle off of the track you don't want to be on and gently put it back on the track that you do want it to be on, and we're good. So basically it's just a matter of discovering where your focus is. If you get distracted, just gently put your focus back on the thing, like at least a little bit, at least like one note of the song that's going on, put that back on there. Your next step, we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It's always an exchange. So there may be some compromise involved. There may be, one-on-one interactions involved, but there is going to be a thing where you're going to either be making plans at this point, like setting up a plan, setting some goals, or else reaching the goals or agreements. There can be maybe set goals that you can meet along the way, but definitely you will be, after you've taken care of your needs, then you will be ready to either make some plans, set some goals, or to just basically accept that you've met a goal and you're going to move forward. I do encourage continuing to move forward, as always. What is going to help you there is we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. This is the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It's upright, so it's an open door challenge. You just have to psych yourself up and do it. It's just like returning your focus to where it needs to be. And so even as you're making plans, just basically make sure that you are stepping over those thresholds and just continue to move forward, to embrace it, take it on. What isn't going to help is you will feel like you are going it alone to a certain extent, because other people might not have the focus that you do. Other people have other focuses. This is your focus. So you may feel like this is your alone path, which is kind of fine, and it won't bother you so much if you just focus on it. Like, it's like, oh, you know what? I kind of feel like I'm doing this alone, but you know what? It is my life and my challenge, and I am embracing this challenge. And as long as you're embracing the challenge and working on it, then it doesn't matter, because it's the thing you're doing and it's your plan, it's your goal. And what this ultimately will lead you to is your continuation of your journey, your life's journey. We have Raido, which is the rune of the horse. Well, it's riding. It's not the rune of the horse, but a horse is implied. And so you will just continue on your journey, setting your goals, taking care of your needs, focusing on what you would like in your life, and accepting the abundance that comes into your life. And this is basically the steps of your journey that you're going to continue forward. So that, card number 1, people, is your reading about abundance. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. Welcome to your card number 2 reading about abundance. Let's turn the card and see what it says about that Standing Stones passage. Okay, so for your abundance, one of the things that gives you a lot of richness in your life is sort of, how do I put this? Placing your journey in harmony with your ancestors' journey and reaching deep and sort of having those deep resonant tones coming with you and sort of helping to carry you as you move through your life. And this way you're never alone. You always have that richness of these other voices that came before you and that still sing around you from the very stones themselves and the universe. So that's exciting. And so that's a lot of your abundance has to do with that. A lot of your sense of abundance has to do with just the richness of the universe around you and the songs of those who came before, whether it's ancestors or just whether it's like your biological ancestors or whether it's just basically the ancestry of humanity and even just the ancestry of the universe around you. So let's get some runes down to clarify. Standing Stones. Ooh, two came out. Nice. Let's get this over here. Oh, cool. So that was the one in that place. In the first reading, I mixed these around like a lot, and these 3 runes were and that one were in the original, were in the first reading I did. A lot of these are actually in different spots, except for the first one. It's like the 26 letters of the alphabet. It's like these books, it's all the same letters. Yes, so we won't worry about that, but it's just funny. Is it that one? Is that our outcome? That's our outcome for sure. Okay, neat. Okay, so your central issue, card number 2, people, is Algi's reversed. Algi's is the rune of the elk. It's otherwise known as the moose. And this has to do with protection and support, but reversed on the central issue line. This is you. This is you standing up as an individual and sort of moving forward through the passage of your life. And it's sort of like you are supported, but it may not necessarily be visible. It's almost like an inner support. It's like a hidden choir of support. Leading up to this, we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. This has to do with standstill and the stillness through which clarity comes. But I'm also seeing this very much in this case, also bringing in the Elder Futhark read of a bridge. Because you've got to this point where you feel very comfortable standing up and being an individual and moving forward on your individual path, your unique individual path, your unique individual passage. But there is this sense of you didn't get here on your own. Like even just very simply, like what is that expression? Like you are the result of the love of thousands. And it's basically, you feel like this is always with you. You feel like this is all around you, whether it's actual like ancestors that have gone before or just humanity that has gone before or the universe that is around you at all times that sings to you and helps to carry you forward, helps to buoy you up. And what is going to help you in this moment as you move forward as an individual on your individual path and passage, but with this sort of resonant choir around you, is we have Kaunas, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. Something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze. So it's just basically about opening out and expanding. So as you move forward, allow yourself to open up and just be like open, like your field of vision wide open, whether or field of vision or field of hearing or field of feeling, and just let all the harmonies come through, because that is really going to basically enrich your life and give it an abundance of well, I mean, lots of things, but just to be open and to allow this as you move through this passage that you're taking. It's like you're opening up and you're hearing the choir kind of thing. It's all around you, all of this all around you. So even though you're doing this individually, you are absolutely not alone. They're just not messing with you. they're just not getting in your way. What isn't going to help is we have Sevilla, which is the rune of the sun. This has to do with source energy. It's never reversed. So it's a very positive rune in a negative spot, which always refers to a worry about that thing. So you're worried about energy levels as you do this, because you are doing this on your own. This is your passage. So if you start to feel a bit worried about that, bring yourself back up to where you are expanding. It's kind of like that, trust to luck, but don't forget to put your nets out thing. You're sort of opening out, and then that is helping to carry you, just like the bridge that got you here. Your next step on the path line and just center of the entire reading is Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. The gift is always an exchange. It's never like, here, thanks, and they run. It's here, oh, thanks, here. It's always an exchange in the Old Norse. So it's exchange, it's agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. It may be a one-on-one relationship, but in that it is an exchange, it's very much about you in a perpetual exchange, almost like a yin-yang, inhale, exhale, breathing kind of thing happening with you and what you feel yourself surrounded by. The standing stones, the universe, your ancestors, all of that kind of thing. It's like you're nourishing each other by it. Both parties are nourishing each other with this exchange that's going on. And this is very, very rich. This makes you feel like a lot of, to bring in the theme of the whole reading is abundance. You don't feel in any way lacking, because you're always having that exchange. What is going to help you with this is, as you do this, the more you do this, you're going to learn more and more and more about yourself. We have Pertho reversed as the helping rune. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. It has to do with surprises and fate. When it's reversed, it refers to inner. So these are inner surprises. You're finding out things about yourself that you didn't realize before, but once you know them, you realize they were always there. As far as relating to ancestors goes, it's like maybe there's something that you're realizing that you don't know where you picked this up, and it may be something that is coming from this exchange that you're constantly having, or just basically that it's deep buried and in your genes, and then when you're doing them, and then all of a sudden you have that, all that fancy, exciting stuff. But anyway, either way, there are things that you're learning about yourself as you go on doing this, that once you spot them and once you see them, these are things that were always with you and you just didn't realize it. So it's like whatever's in the lot box was already in the lot box. So when it opens, it's a surprise to you because you haven't seen it because the box has been closed, but there it is. What won't help is we have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. There may be a bit of overwhelm. You may be worried about overwhelm, or you may feel a little bit overwhelmed with just the vastness of all of this. But it's just generally things like we have there's the sun and there's the dawn. So you're worried about energy levels and you're worried about burnout, which this might also be, like overwhelm but also burnout, just too much at once kind of thing. But you do have this exchange going on, and this pins the entire reading. This is like right in the center, keeping it steady. So if you start to worry about that, bring yourself back up to the more I need, the more is being revealed to me about who I am. And it's like finding a new room in your house kind of thing. It's those dreams where you suddenly discover there's a room that you didn't realize was in your house and it's neat, and you're going in and you're exploring it. That's sort of the thing. The more you do this, the more of you there will be, so that you don't have to worry about energy levels, because that's where your more energy is coming from, is your unfurling self. So So your next step on the path line, we have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and stubbornness in that, stubbornness as far as resistance, but it is reversed here on the path line. And it's the things that you're going to find are two things immediately. One, how inwardly strong you are. Like you don't just inherently strong that you are doing this. The other thing this is going to be is that once you pass this point where you're like, this exchange is really good for me and it is working really, really well, you feel less inclined to resist it. Like maybe at first when you were doing this exchange, you will feel like, I don't know, it feels like other. It feels like, I don't know if I should open myself up to this because it's not me, but it is you because it's everything that, sort of you were formed from. Whether it's the universe or whether it's just open yourself up to the trustworthy ancestors, the ones who actually care about you, and so it's all still is more you than not, and you're sort of opening yourself up to more of you than you knew you had access to. And so the more you're doing that, the less resistance you're going to feel towards it. And you're going to feel just very, very strong inwardly. What is going to help you with that is continue to accept this challenge. We have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It's upright, so it's an open door. It's just a matter of psyching yourself up and continuing. So you're going to continue doing this. You're going to love this challenge. It is yours. And just basically embracing it. And this is going to help you while you are letting go of resistance and while you are finding your inner strength. What isn't going to help is just this sense of unknown. I mean, it's been good so far. The more that you do this, then the more of you that you get to know. But there's always that worry of, what if there's something that is coming that I will find out about myself that I don't want. But, then that becomes, something you still want to work with, treat it as a counselor. But that's sort of the worry. If you let that sink in as a bit of a fear, then that's going to sort of mess with your lack of resistance. So then bring yourself back up to, no, this is mine. This is mine. And I'm embracing the challenge of it. And that's going to help me deal with it because it's mine. And whatever comes through, I'm going to see it as mine. It's my challenge. It's my expanded self and my source of abundance. And so that's what's going to help you with that. The outcome of this reading, the last rune in this particular spread, is Laguz, which is the rune of the water. It's the emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. Definitely just continue on in a very natural, organic way. I'm going to bookend this because I started it with the younger Futhark read of Isa, and I'm going to end it with the younger Futhark read of Logur, which is the riches come down from the mountain through the water. So in addition to it being flow, and in addition to it being speaking of a way forward that is very heart-led, where you're going to feel very much connected to heart and sort of letting your heart lead as you move forward, there's also that sense of, as you do this, the riches are going to continue to flow through from on high, from the mountain, and it's just going to continue to enrich your life. So that, card number 2, people, is your reading for abundance. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. Hello, card number 3, people. Welcome to Three Crows Runes. We already do the welcome in the opening bit, but I'm still going to say it. Let's get started with turning this card from the Sacred Forest Oracle and see what starts you with your abundance reading. Fire Spirit Energy. So, thing about fire is it's a portal. No, really, because it's sort of, mythically you get that sort of, people would burn offerings and then that would go through to the gods, that kind of thing, or it transforms a thing from one thing to another thing. It transforms, dough into a cookie, So it's a transformative portal, but also the energy. You get, if you know about the fire signs, then you've got the energetic, the mutable energetic, just the fiery energy. What else can I say about fire? You've got the hot, dry aspect of it. In tarot, of course, it's the wands, which is will. So you've got that. In some tarot, it's the swords, which is communication and thought and energy. So anyway, let's get some runes down to clarify. But yes, one of the things that is going to really help you is just this powerful transformative energy that you have, where you take things and you bring them on an inner journey. But that's really neat. So we're going inward at this point, into your inner furnace. Your furnace. I'm going to lay down the runes for this reading. You know, I am mixing these runes between readings, which is a feat because this bag is small compared to the size of the runes. But I am mixing them, and I keep seeing some repeat runes. Not that that's a problem, because there's only 24 runes and a blank. So, but still, it's interesting that we're getting a lot of the same runes for these readings, not in the same spots so much. Your central issue, card number 3, people, is Raido reverse. Raido is the rune of the journey. This has to do with your life's journey, traveling forward. In the younger and the Anglo-Saxon in the younger Futhark and the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, it talks about, you've got it's comfortable for the rider and toil for the horse. I don't see that so much in this. It's really just boiled down to the journey, although it is riding, so it's a directed journey. Reversed. So reversed tends to mean inner. So I am seeing this as an inner journey that you are taking things on, which is what I was saying. It's like to create abundance in your life. If you're not already doing this, you're basically taking things in, and you're taking things on an inner journey and sort of bringing the fire out of them and sort of transforming them into the mythic level of things where they have great meaning and great potency and give you greater richness in your life because of the meaning that they get once you bring them inward. Another thing that this is reading is actually you've sort of ended a chapter recently, like of your life. There's something that has been wrapped up where you actually dive deep. You're actually diving deep and taking the journey inward. I'm really seeing it more as the inner journey aspect, though. Leading up to this, we have Avaz reversed. Avaz is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and spirit. I think this has been going on for a little bit. I think there was this realization that you have all you need and that you don't have to run around galloping after it, like what you want and what you need all the time. Like what you want, you already have, and even if you don't have quite it, you can take that inward and transform it in your inner fire, which is exciting. So that's where you are here. You're like, wait a minute, I'm going to stop running around because life shouldn't be this effortful. I'm going to stop running around and wearing myself out. I'm going to take what I have and I'm going to transform it inwardly into much more rich meaningfulness. So what is going to help you is just remembering your worth, because you have a lot of worth. You have loads of worth. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. In some reads, it's basically fire as well. Like if you look at the more mythic read on the runes, which I think is a little more modern, but that's okay. It's a read. You get Fehu, which is the first rune, as representing the fire. So it's fire. It's a good fire. All the good transformative fire energy, fire spirit. So, but worth, like basically you've got this, you're recognizing the worth of things. And so this is where you're taking the things around you and transforming them inwardly into deeper, meaningful things that are going to enrich your life more. What isn't going to help? This is really cool. Are you ready for this? Ice. So we have fire, which is going to help you, and ice, which is not in this case. Mostly I'm just sort of seeing this as stagnation, as keeping things frozen and not going deeper than the surface because you're not letting yourself through, just sort of hanging around on top of things and just not delving deeper where you get that fire, where you get that deeper meaning of things. So if you start to feel like you're sort of resisting and you're sort of sitting in the stagnation of things that don't have a deeper meaning, bring yourself back up to let's kickstart this fire and get that meaning going on, get that energy happening. So yeah, remember your worth. You're worth more than just a surface. So what your next step on the pathline is, and the center of the entire reading, what pins it, is we have the blank rune, which is a relatively recent addition. And this has to do with, first of all, being very, very open, because once you've done this once, you're going to be like, I can do this with everything. So you're just basically looking around and you're looking at what is around you and making everything around you rich, rather than like going after things that you think will make you rich. You recognize that you're already rich, so you're basically going to look around you and transform everything and to make your life much more enriched. Another thing the blank rune does is it calls in connection to the divine, whatever the divine is for you, whether this is a deity, whether this is higher self, whether this is source, whether this is the universe, but just basically to be open to that as well. Because once you trust that you already have abundance around you, in terms of just enrichment of life, you're basically going to feel like, okay, I trust it. I trust that whatever I have, I can transform into something that is going to nourish me. I mean, obviously, if you need food, that's a different story. Like, we're not talking about like a very physical abundance to the same extent, although this implies that you're worth it. But in terms of just your life's richness and abundance, trust that you have what you need and that you can, obviously if there's something that you need to add, do that. Like, go and just to step over the want part of it and just do it. What is going to help you? We have Vunyo reversed. Vunyo is the rune of joy. I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, be aware of where there's discontentment and be honest with yourself about it. Because if there is something that you can do, if there's something that you can control, and that you can make a positive change in your life that is going to give you more abundance and more richness in your life, then definitely do that. Don't hold back from that. Definitely take those steps. The other thing this is finding your joy within. And that's part of the transformative process, where you're taking the things around you and transforming them inwardly, taking them on that inner journey and making them meaningful, like much more mythically meaningful for you. Look at all that alliteration. So that as well. What isn't going to help is you are worrying about unpleasant surprises. We have, and it may not necessarily happen, but it's just sort of, you're worried about, but what if something crummy happens? If I'm trusting, I'll going along trusting, and then something crummy happens. I don't want to have to pretend like that's okay. And you're not, but that's sort of Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. It's in the lower line and it is reversed. So, excuse me, oh my gosh. I am so rude. Love you. So, yes, if you're worried about a negative surprise that's going to happen and stop you in your tracks and sort of upheaval your passage, again, bring yourself back up here. That's why we're being honest with ourselves about discontentments. If we find that we are discontent, we're going to do something about it, especially if it's something we have control over. But the other thing this might be talking about is, what if I find out something about myself while I'm taking these inner journeys that I'm not pleased about, and that might drag me down? Once again, bring yourself back up to, you are then going to counter that with finding some inner joy, with basically connecting with inner joy. Awesome. So, and that's going to help you in this part where you're being open and also trusting to whatever you consider to be the divine. Your next step on the pathline is Othala. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. This has to do with sanctuary, solace. Basically, while doing this, you are going to be creating for yourself, which you'll see in the next step, a sense of home, a sense of wherever you go, you will have a sense of home. Wherever you look around you is going to be something you want to see. Basically, you're going to surround yourself with the things that give your life richness, that give your life meaning, and you will feel very comfortable in the middle of that. It becomes a comfort zone that you are going to be continually adding to, so it doesn't become stagnant, that you're going to be keeping fresh. What is going to help is we have Manas reversed, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it reversed. You are understanding that other people will have their own lives and things, but you're sort of like, okay, you have your lives, you have your opinions, that's fine. I'm just going to gently tune you out. And this goes along with the home. You're in a sense of home where you've basically shut out the things that are not conducive to home. And in this, one of the things that you're shutting out is the din of humanity that's saying you ought to do this, you ought to do that. No, you ought to do your life, which is what you're doing. And you're transforming the things in your life into something that has great meaning for you. So that's going to help you the most at this stage where you are building this sense of home around yourself, this sense of sanctuary, this sense of comfort. What isn't going to help is we have Tivaz reversed. Tivaz is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god. He has a lot to do with taking care of the things that need to be taken care of, duties and responsibilities. So this is basically saying don't neglect the things that need to be done. So obviously, you're doing that because you're creating your comfortable home around you and you're tuning out the din to focus on what you need. The other thing that this is, you may be worried about being disarmed. You may be worried about, if you're doing this, you may feel like, yeah, but if I'm shutting everything out, then I won't be prepared. I won't be ready to drive forward. It's like, you need this. This is your base. This is your base of comfort where you're going to be able to go and recharge. And then even if you have to leave it for any reason, you'll be strong because you've done this. You've connected with this and you've brought this richness into your life that is going to stay with you. And you're going to carry this home wherever you go. Even though this is not reversed showing an inner sense of home, you're still, doing this method of taking the inner journey with things in your life and bringing the richness out of them, the meaningfulness. The last rune in this spread and the outcome of this is we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This is always an exchange, and it's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. So you'll be able to move forward once you've established your sense of home with all the richness and meaningfulness, and you'll be able to go out and have these exchanges in the world that will only enrich what you have. Like you'll be able to do that with things. This may be in one-on-one interactions. This may be agreements, decisions, plans, and goals that you are making and setting and having with the world. This may even be the fulfillment of a goal that you had set way back here. It's like, wow, at this point, I have arrived. I have obtained and attained what I wanted to begin with. So that's exciting. So that, card number 3, people, is your reading about abundance. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4, people. Welcome to 3 Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings today. So, I know I gave you that in the intro, but I'm happy to do it. So, let's start by turning this card from this Sacred Forest Oracle and see this reading about abundance. Spirit Guardian of Winter, Retreat. For some of you in the southern hemisphere, you are in winter, which is quite exciting. Right now, we're just leaving the peak of summer. We're in August, so it's leaving. But whether you are in the northern or southern hemisphere, and whatever season it is when you watch this card is about retreat. So what is going to help connect you to your sense of abundance is just basically have a 4 of Swords moment where you're just basically going to come. You're going to sort of burrow in for a little bit, go into the cave for a little bit, just basically retreat from the din of humanity and the din of the world, and just basically start to feel that cozy sense of gratitude and that you have everything you need around you and that you are comfortable and comforted. And that's going to really, really, really help you reconnect with your sense of abundance. Look at that. I love it. Let's get some runes down. The maple runes and see where we're going with this. I mix these, and I know I say this joke often about it's like all these books and it's the same freaking letters. There's only 24 runes plus a blank rune, so there's gonna be some overlap if I'm doing readings, but actually, no, there's a lot of ones I haven't seen yet today in here, but most of them I have, which is kind of wild. Not necessarily in the same spot, but it's just interesting the way they come down. So central issue for you, card number 4, people, is algaes. Algaes is the rune of the elk. This has to, well, it's also the moose. In North America, we call the elk the moose. And this has to do with protection and support. It is upright. I've been seeing it not upright in the other readings. Here it's upright because you're basically feeling very, very protected and supported as you pull in and go into your little retreat that you're going to take. Just to sort of just shut out the din and just go in and just become cozy, comfortable, and you're going to feel very, very supported and very, very protected. This is because you've just been dealing with a lot of overwhelm. We have Dagas, which is the breaking of the day. Things are just like filling your field of vision and just like overwhelming you. It's just a lot. You're feeling a bit burned out. So this is another reason why you want to come and do this in at least one aspect of your life. I'm not saying your entire life, but at least in one aspect, and especially in terms of where you haven't perhaps felt as appreciative of your abundance as you would like, or you've been feeling like, where is it? You've just been feeling overwhelmed and just sort of like run ragged a bit. So let yourself retreat and you'll start to feel how supported you are. You're going to start to feel very cozy and that you have around you what you need and that you don't need all the crazy stuff that's going on outside. So what is going to help you is Lagus. Lagus is the rune of the water. It's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. Definitely connect to heart. It sounds corny. It sounds cliche, but really, really, once you connect with heart, you're going to be on a very good wavelength where things are just going to start to flow. Things are going to be, you're much more connected to things. When you let heart lead, I mean, not obviously like, I'm going to eat this whole chocolate cake, but when you let, when you let your heart genuinely lead in things and in the decisions that you're making and in things, and not just your head as far as things go, because sometimes your head will say, we're going to do this because it makes all this sense. And it's like the heart's like, yeah, but you know. And usually the heart is more right. In general, entertainment purposes only. So, but basically it's a good, you know, and you know, in ancient Egypt, they believed that thinking happened there. Like this is, and if you imagine just how much better things would be if people made decisions from that point, like holy heck. Anyway, on we go. So basically connecting with heart, reconnecting with heart, especially if you're feeling nice and cozy and supported, is definitely going to even boost that, like just a lot. It's going to help you so much. And that is definitely going to help you in this moment. Just connecting with heart and letting that lead you. Reconnecting with your emotions. Like maybe you've been out here and it's been so crazy that you felt like you've had to suppress. Just like reconnect with emotions. I was years and years ago, I worked for a really long time at a really like difficult retail job, and it was like you had to turn your emotions off, and it was really, really hard, and I felt like I was losing my soul. So anyway, I finally stopped working there. I was doing something else, and for the first week or so, my emotions started to come back, and it was crazy. Like I was crying at commercials. Like it was just like, but this is there. Like let that come back. Let it come back, because it's important to have that flow, because the flow is what keeps you uncluttered and it keeps you clean. You know? So you got to do it. Let it come out. So connecting with heart, reconnecting with emotions, your intuition is going to start to come back, and it's really good. Like, so this is all going to be a part of what enriches your life and makes your life feel abundant and rich. This may not necessarily even have to do with money. This is just basically abundance in your life, richness. What isn't going to help is we have Thurizaz reversed. No, we have Thurizaz. Thurizaz is not reversed here, but it may as well be from its position. Thurizaz is the rune of the challenge. This is the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is in the lower line, so it's what isn't going to help you. I'm seeing this really as a worry. You're sort of worried about what is lying beyond this door, because you shut the door to come into this retreat on all the craziness, and you're like, it's all still there. It's just outside that door. I'm worried about it. All I have to do is open the door. It's going to hit me in the face. And it's just this worry about, you know, the challenges that are out there, because this usually has to do with this when we first do that first line. So it's just that sense of, you know, there's too much challenges out there. I just can't, you know, it's so much. And even though I'm in a retreat here and I'm comfortable and cozy, it's there and it's nagging at me. If that starts to be the case, bring yourself back up to this. It's like, just comfort yourself. Just give yourself that easy ease. Let yourself feel again, because you're safe now in this situation. You're protected, you're supported. So reconnect with heart. This is going to sort of smooth this over. It's not going to fix it, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for you, because here you can saturate with it. Here you can saturate with heart and emotion and start to feel again and start to with all the comfort happening, feel more cozy and feel able to do that more better. I'm an English major. Your next rune on the path line, we have Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. This has to do with something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze. This is also the central rune of the entire read. This is what pins it. So in the center of this endeavor, you are going to feel yourself opening up again. And this is very important because you had sort of closed off because everything was just jangling at you. And now that you're feeling cozy in your retreat and comfortable and reconnecting with heart and reconnecting with emotions, you're going to feel yourself start to unfurl again. You're going to start to open out again and expand. And this is important. What is going to help you with that is take care of the things that need to be taken care of. Just even if it's just housework, just get up and just take care of what needs to be taken care of to make sure that your duties and responsibilities are in order. And this is going to lay a foundation of continued comfort. So we have Tivaz, which is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god. He has to do with taking care of things that need to be taken care of. He's the only one who took care of Fenrir. Nobody else would, so it had to be done. He did it. That kind of thing. Of course, he lost his hand in the process, but we're not going to go there in this read. It has to do with a couple other things about balance and responsibility and sacrifice. But anyway, in this moment, though, this is mostly about taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. Make sure that you are keeping the dishes done, keeping the laundry done, making sure that everything continues to be as comfortable and comforting as possible in your retreat. Keep you cozy in all of this. And that's going to help you the most because as long as you're on top of that, A, it gives you almost a meditative beats in the day to do. But B, once that's all there and you know that's there and you have everything you need, you're going to continue to have everything you need around you. You're not going to be hunting around for a dish or a plate or a fork. And so that's going to keep you on top of this, and it's going to keep you able to expand. What isn't going to help is we have Avaz reversed. Avaz is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and spirit. In the lower line reversed, it has to do with not moving, and you're going to start to, we have such a culture of go, go, go and do, and just, if you're not constantly putting things out and active and doing things, doing, then you're weak. And it's like, no, if you're not constantly exhausted, then you're weak. Like, where does that make sense? So you are going to worry a bit about that you don't seem to be moving forward so much. Like, all the moving you're doing is inward at this point. You're basically taking care of things quietly and cozily, and you're, allowing your connection to be reestablished with heart and with emotions. And that's a lot of action, but it's not running around crazy action where you're wearing yourself out so you can brag about it. You're doing important work that's going to allow you to go back to that, but more replenished. So if that starts to be the case, just bring yourself back up to, it's like, I'm not moving. It's like, yes, I am. This morning I did the dishes and I did vacuuming and I made sure things were tidy and scooped the kitty litter and all the good stuff. So you are moving. If you're worried that you're not moving, you are. You don't have to wear yourself out. This is not required. You shouldn't be doing that. Just let yourself expand again. Let yourself replenish. Your next step on the path line is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is Ing's rune. Ing is the warrior. Oh my gosh. Everybody's the warrior god today. Everybody. Ing is the fertility god. He's another name for Frey. And it has to do with active creation. So once you've gotten to the point where you've been replenished for a little bit, you're replenishing yourself, you've reconnected with emotion, you've reconnected with heart, you're going to start to look around and say, okay, I don't want to go back to where I was here. I want to make sure that what I have around me is going to keep me replenished, is going to keep me feeling like I'm not worn out and I'm not overwhelmed. So you're going to start to look around and start to shape the things, working with what you have to shape what you have around you, just to create around yourself a good state of abundance and replenishment, and that's going to keep you feeling good and in a state of abundance rather than worn out. What is going to help you with that is, if this person was worrying, if you were worried about being still before, you're going to be really worried now. But this might be meditation. This might be whatever it is, but it's Isa. So it's the rune of ice, stand still, stillness, and it's the stillness through which clarity comes. So give yourself the time to be still so that this clarity comes through on what you really truly want around you in your life, that isn't being worn out, that's just something that is going to continue to have with you things that can replenish you, things that can give you that sense of abundance in your life, that sense of richness, and it'll keep you connected with your emotions and your heart and your intuition, maybe. So that's going to be very important. Give yourself that time. And you've done all the chores, so it's good. You've got the time. What isn't going to help is you're going to worry at that point that something surprise is going to come up that's going to be unpleasant. Again, these are all really worries. We have Pertho reversed, which is the rune of the lot box. Surprises and fate. It's reversed on the lower line. So it's worries about an unpleasant surprise. This is why you're doing this. So if you start to worry about that, it's like, no, this is important. So if this comes up, it's like, okay, then we'll think about that as well. We're going to be still. We're going to say, what do I need to have in my life that is going to keep myself replenished, and that is going to keep me connected to emotion, and it's going to keep me connected to my heart. And give yourself the stillness so that clarity comes through, and that even if something comes up, what if, then it's like, okay, so what if? So what if? We'll work on that too. Get everything in place. And by the end of it all, the outcome is Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. Reversed, it's inner. So it's a sense of inner wealth and inner worth and self-esteem, and that you're going to feel very much more all of that by the time you're done with all this process, and your life will be more rich. So that is your reading for abundance. Card number 4, people. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.